Let's turn to sexual issues. What are we going to do about abortion and same-sex marriages and sex discrimination? We have to stop the divisive labeling of liberal and conservative. Everyone in America has their own beliefs on these topics. These beliefs are based on your religion, your life experiences, and your upbringing. In looking at abortion, you will never get a 100% consensus either way. The reason is because each person, especially women, make their own choice. This country is founded on freedom of choice. Not to give people freedom of choice violates what America is. You can't force your beliefs of something that affects someone on a personal level, even if you spiritually believe what you are saying and doing is right. The easiest way to reduce abortions is to increase contraception. Remember, it is not about when life begins, it is about what choice you make. Homosexuality has been around since the beginning. It has not gone up nor down in our society. Sure, more people have come out of the closet, but they were gay anyway. Society is not going to self-destruct because of homosexuality. We are not going to self-destruct because of same-sex marriages. Homosexual couples have been living together for decades. It is time to stop worrying about this divisive issue. Let natural selection handle it. Trying to prevent same-sex marriages is once again trying to force your religious beliefs on others. This too violates what America stands for, freedom of expression. I am the President of the United States, not a minister. If you are looking for a minister who tries to change your value system, then go down to your local place of worship. I am considering an executive order that allows same-sex marriages nationwide. This will put this issue to rest once and for all. I believe that once same-sex couples can do this, the novelty will wear off and we can stop wasting energy in this area. I am going to unify America. With your help, we are going to make this unified America better and the leader of the global economy. We will no longer be a place for foreign interests to buy our land, our companies, and our talent, and import substandard goods to sell to Americans. What are we going to do to stop discrimination against women? I will make sure that the current legislation is reviewed and upheld, and if new legislation is needed to protect women. We will stop sexual harassment in the workplace, starting with the White House. I will ask Congress to draw up legislation that has additional penalties if sexual harassment is committed by a politician, church leader, or military leader. Women will get equal pay for equal work. I will push legislation that punishes employers that pay women less for equal work. This punishment will start with a $25,000 fine for each occurrence. It is time to reward housewives. I will push for a $2,500 per year stipend for housewives. If we can pay farm subsidies and humanitarian aid, we can reward housewives who play one of the most important roles in American society. What about our religious differences? America will never be a one-religion nation. We are hundreds of religions based on various beliefs. We enjoy freedom of expression, which includes freedom of worship as we choose. But this freedom of expression, religious or otherwise, does not give anyone the right, even the government, to impose their beliefs on anyone. It is time to stop equating conservatism with religion. Rather, you will be picked on your ability to apply the law. No one group of Americans has a patent on being right. America, under my watch, will not legislate religious beliefs. Do you hear me, future Supreme Court justices? You will be picked on your ability to apply the law, not on your personal nor your political party's beliefs. Now, this does not mean that the 25 issues that I outlined above will not be addressed. The 4 things that Americans are concerned about will also receive top priority. I will roll out a plan to solve the immigration issue, the gas price crisis, the mortgage issues, and deal with the war in Iraq. Speaking of the war in Iraq, I plan to hold a 2-day conference on this issue in the next 30 days. I will make myself available at the conference to hear the views of the top military generals, representatives from the Republican and Democratic parties, people from the media who have been on the ground in Iraq, people from public policy institutes that specialize in war and the effect on the country, the top 5 radio talk show hosts based on their ratings, 5 people from each state picked by their state governors, and 100 people randomly picked from Iraq. I am offering a personal invitation to all family members who had a loved one who lost their life in Iraq serving their country. This conference will be held in Atlanta, Georgia, because it is easy to get in and out of. The venue where we will hold this conference at will seat at least 10,000 people. As for gas prices, I will establish an energy commission whose responsibilities will include monitoring the price of gasoline, fuel oil, and natural gas. On the commission will be people from the Justice Department who will constantly monitor the business practices of everyone involved in the production and sale of energy to Americans. If there are any instances of gouging or antitrust violations, they will be prosecuted immediately. The Energy Commission will also look at alternatives to our current dependency on foreign oil. Meanwhile, can we leverage lower prices from oil-producing countries based on their need for our goods and services? Does it make sense to begin offshore drilling in places that were once off limits? If so, how long would it take for this oil to make any impact on the supply and price of oil? Even if there would be an impact, would this impact manifest before new technologies such as fuel cell and hybrid cars cut the dependency on oil? If we spend the money on offshore drilling, is it possible that this country will not be motivated to seek other technologies because companies want to recoup their expenditures? We must utilize different technologies now as energy sources such as wind and solar power. We need to build nuclear power plants. If any type of energy will make us independent of oil, nuclear power will. Nuclear power is also not weather nor rainfall dependent. It is free of supply and demand pressures from other nations. Nuclear power will not become outdated or depleted like fossil fuels will. Of course, as your president, I will use every available means of diplomacy at my disposal to get oil-producing countries to increase oil production and lower prices during the time period we build our nuclear power plants.